So, you want to move to the Philippines or maybe buy a land, build a house, and start living the dream? I get it. I've been there too. Except I'm a Filipino trying to do all these things. So, let me tell you, there is a dream and then there is the reality. And if you don't know the difference, it's going to be a shocking surprise to you. So, in this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know, not from a tourist lens, but from my own experience, in doing all this buying land, building road, building, renting an apartment, and living day to day in a rural province. These are the things nobody tells you in, like travel blogs, the power outages, the water shortages, the lazy workers, the broken systems, the politics. So, first thing you need to know, living in the Philippines means infrastructure is not reliable, period. I know most of you are aware of that already, but I want to emphasize it. Power outages, they're not rare, they're normal. So, for example, the province of Siquijor, where I chose to live, the chosen island, it's very rural, right? We had like 16 to 20 hours of blackouts daily that lasted for months, which is so bad and eventually got the attention of the whole country and the media. So on June 11 this year, the president of the Philippines visited the island and gave the provincial government and the power supplier an ultimatum. He gave them 6 months to fix this mess. So after his visit, miraculously, the power outages are completely gone. I mean, if they can do that, like not have power outages in the straight 1 month, why can't they do it forever? Because just 1 month after the president's visit, voila, the power outages are back again. 20 hours of power outages every day. Anyway, a few weeks ago, they announced that the power supplier in the island has been fired and they have a new power supplier. But I don't know how it is now. I think it has improved a lot because I don't see anyone complaining anymore. Not like before. Every day, every hour, a lot of people are complaining. Yes, it was very annoying and very frustrating to live that way because, there is nothing you can do when you're just renting. Also, when there's no power, there's no water as well. Pumps stop, faucets go dry, you're left rationing whatever buckets you filled earlier. And I always keep water stored. Yeah, I'm a Girl Scout, but there were days when I was not able to fill my buckets because you literally don't know when the power is going out. And you are there washing your clothes, using all the water, and then suddenly the water pressure is gone. Now, a lot of you is going to say again, oh, have you heard about battery, about solar power, or about generator? Like, come on. If you're renting, you don't just buy expensive things like that. It's easier said than done. And of course, I know about that, but ask yourself, are you going to suddenly pay like $10,000 to have solar power in an apartment you're just renting? Or are you going to like buy a $1,000 heavy duty battery, even if you don't know if you want to stay longer? I didn't have the easy option to move because moving means moving all my stuff and starting again in that place. So you just stay and hope that tomorrow will be another day and that the power will be fixed the next morning. And you have that hope every single day, every time you wake up. The second thing is money. And I don't just mean the money that you budget, I mean the money you don't expect to spend. Ever heard of? Of course, you've heard of skin tax, simply because you're foreigner or even just from outside Bangay or you're a tourist. It's not always blatant, but it's real. If you're building, for example, if you're building a house, if you don't know the local rates, you will overpay. There's government inefficiency as well. When I bought the land in Siquijor, the title had an error. Whose fault? The government office. It's their fault. And who paid to fix it? Of course, it's me. But that is just the system. That's how the system works here in the Philippines. If you're moving here, always budget extra because whether it's hidden fees, delays, or outright mistakes, you're the one who will end up paying for everything. It doesn't matter whether it is your fault or their fault, it's still your fault. But I know I'm kind of partly at fault because I did not check everything carefully, like every detail carefully before actually transacting. But my point is, you cannot rely on the government to fix the problems that they created, even. So, yeah. The third thing is politics. This is the root of why so many system here in the Philippines is still broken. A lot of people, when I talk about how corrupt the Philippines is, they try to like downplay it. They say, oh, but there's corruption everywhere. Every country has corruption, not just the Philippines. And yes, corruption exists everywhere. But if you think it's the same, you don't understand the scale here. Yeah, try to live here, you will experience that kind of corruption that I'm talking about. Like you will experience it firsthand, like in front of you. Like literally they will try to extort you. In the Philippines, everyone wants to be a politician. Everyone. When I say everyone, literally the rich, the elite, the educated, even the uneducated and the illiterates. Because here power isn't about control like in the West. I think in Western countries, this is how I see it. It's like how in my observation, politicians want power so they can control the system, shape the laws, and influence society. I mean, that is something so much bigger, of course. But here, it's very cheap. They're very cheap. They want power for only one reason. It's not really power to control the people or control this and that. It's not that's not really the main goal. The main goal is to steal public funds. And it's not even hard for them. They don't need to do gymnastics to cover it up. They don't need clever schemes. All they need is a friend in an office. They propose a project, not to build it, not to improve Filipinos' lives, but to take the budget straight into their pockets. So, yeah, like billions, trillions of pesos can vanish overnight, and the project will never even start. You will never see that project. But they will mark it finished, though. They will mark it finished. You will never see that project. It never even started. It didn't exist. So yeah, I think that's the big difference about our corruption. In the Philippines, corruption is so easy, it's so normalized, so deeply rooted that holding even the smallest office is treated like a lottery or a jackpot. The end goal is never public service, of course. It's quick money for doing literally nada, nothing. And then what happens? Well, the roads stay broken, or there are no roads at all, nothing at all. Infrastructures that they don't exist, or they're broken, or they're not enough. But the same families, the same dynasties, the same corrupt officials, they stay in power. Because during elections, votes are bought for a few thousand pesos and the cycle repeats again. So I'm gonna tell you during the elections here last May, the people here had a chance to vote for change, to demand better. But instead, votes were sold for, I mean, I'm talking about in the island. The votes were sold for 6,000 pesos each voter. And then the other party who is advocating for good governance had to pay 3,000 pesos to each voter too. Like make it make sense. Advocating for good governance, but then they had to go with the vote buying trend still, just because it is so effective in getting them into the office. And the same officials, the same ones who didn't improve infrastructure before, got right back in power. By the way, the government and the congressman in the island is a son and father tandem. And every elections, they just switch positions. So it's like, it's like a joke. I also heard a scoop that they own a construction company that supplies materials to government projects there. I don't know how true that is, but my source worked directly with them. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, and now the people are shocked that nothing changes. But let's be honest, if you sell your vote, you sell your future. That's the reality here. And that's why I say, if you're a foreigner thinking of moving here, you cannot rely really on the government to fix things for you or to fix things in general for the public interest. If you want progress, you fix it yourself, or you don't fix anything at all. Another thing you need to know is if you plan to build something, managing workers here will test every ounce of your patience. When I opened my driveway, you already know the story. I hired the best operator on the island. Everyone wanted him, but what did I get? 3 weeks stretched into 3 months and only delivered 11 actual days. Excuses, every excuses, siesta, body pain, or the classic, the spirits are mad at me. So yeah, they said that many times. Oh yeah, maybe the spirits got mad because I cut a lot of trees. Not a lot of trees, just bushes. And then the contractor, the boss, his boss, instead of managing his man, he used me as the excuse. Like, oh, Ruby said this, Ruby said that. Suddenly I was the bad guy just because I wanted the job done. That's part of Filipino culture. Non-confrontational style. They avoid direct conflict. We save face, even if it means no accountability. No, I am also guilty of that. I save face, but only when like in light situations. Like I just don't want to hurt someone's feeling. I just want to be polite. So I say yes, I'm okay, even if I'm not. Don't expect Western style professionalism. You cannot get the Western style life here. You cannot also get the Western style professionalism. If you want things done your way, you'll either need to supervise every single thing that you do or do it yourself, or hire the proper professionals. Like if you're buying something, maybe just don't do it yourself. Always n- hire a lawyer. Make your lawyer do all the transactions that you're doing here. You want to build a house, then hire a proper contractor, like a professional contractor, a real licensed engineer or architect, with their own team, and then pay triple, because otherwise you'll end up stressed, like I said, delayed and drained. So you come live in the Philippines because it is cheaper and you have more freedom, but I'm telling you, the beginning is going to be hard. Maybe your first 5 years is going to be hard and expensive too. You need to do a lot of adjustments, especially if you're someone who is very professional, who is very into details. You're someone that is very meticulous, and the quality is very high. Big developers here, when they build condominiums, they're not so great. Even if they're very simple, it's not good. So yeah, if you're normally patient, I think triple that patience. Should you never move to the Philippines? That's not what I'm saying, but you need the right mindset. You need to come prepared, especially mentally. You need patience, a lot of patience, a lot of it. Patience in the grocery store. You will see this a lot in grocery stores. Cashiers, especially the women gossiping while scanning your grocery, that makes them slow. It can be really annoying, especially when you're in a hurry, but don't get me wrong. People here are nice and kind. Just don't confront them while they're gossiping while working. They will hit you for confronting them. My point is, workers are very slow. They are very chill and very relaxed. We Filipinos, we don't confront them because we Filipinos, we are all guilty of doing the same thing. Very slow, tardy, chill, relax. That's just how it is here. That's why it is a very laid back country. Those things contribute to it. And you also need a lot of patience in the road and sidewalk. We have a lot of bad drivers as well. Very bad drivers. If you buy a car and drive in the Philippines, I think you adapt the Pinoy driving style. I think so. And most importantly, you need resilience, because this place will test you. The beach, the sunsets, the peace of mind, they're real. That's why I'm still hoping. I'm still hopeful despite all the struggles. But the Philippines is not a prepackaged paradise. It's raw, it's messy, and it will challenge you at every step. And by the way, I am not exaggerating it. I am just emphasizing our country is so behind. We couldn't catch up because of the mentality of the people, because of our mentality. But I guess that is what makes the Philippines Philippines. So yeah, that's the truth, not the sugar coated version. If you're planning to move here, say this video if you've already lived here, share your experience in the comments because people need to hear the real story. And for me, I'll keep sharing my journey. I'll keep sharing my story, the struggles and the small victories. So you know exactly what to expect when you make that big leap. Do a lot of research, travel to a lot of places before deciding so you don't get stuck. Yeah, that's my advice. I hope you get a lot of lessons from my experience and from this video. So thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next update. I hope there's an update soon.